Hey everybody, One of Weezem here. We are going to upgrade Krypt King. Originally had this slated for around Halloween, and kind of that's when I was doing my undead element upgrades and whatnot. Had some ton of stuff come up actually, and we're gonna get to it now. So just as good a time as any, we're gonna rock it over this direction. He's been on my to-do list for what it's worth, but I really like Krypt King. I like the concept of him. I like the chop back tie-in. I like the fact that he was considered for giants. I like that he has a variant because that means I can explore both paths with two unique figures. However, I do prefer this version, the standard version of Krypt King, far more than I do Nitro Krypt King. I love the concept of the Nitros, which should be a speed boost, but the gold and the white, it's unique, but he just looks way better. Again, it's undead. I know gold and white you might associate with like a pharaoh or, something kind of ties in with Krypt, but to me, black. I mean, that's closer to death than undead. So that said, he is a very cool character. He's got some great idle animations. What we're gonna do though is just take a look at his attack damage here. So box stock, he has got the I think it's just Traptanium Broadsword. We'll see it again in a second. But the way it pans out is pretty simple. If you just swing it very slowly each time, you're going to do 80 to 120 on the critical hit. There's your critical, so that went well. But if you, XXX here on the X bone, and you execute essentially a combo, you have not just 80, 80, and then your finish move. You've got 80, an increase, and then another increase on the finishing move. So essentially, we're going to go actually to my spreadsheet because I have this stuff pinned in already. But I think it's 80, 96, 120. There it is. Yeah, no, 80, 96, 128. So, I've never seen critical on this. I've played around with it for quite some time, but just to showcase it, well, there we go. So, now we've seen critical, but 80, 96, 128 is your standard numbers, and then what I did on the spreadsheet in parentheses, I put 120, 144, 192. Those would be your respective critical hit numbers. The reason that I put them in parentheses, number one, you don't see them often, but number two, and the biggest reason, it's just if I did 80 to 120, 96 to 144, etc., it would be hard to read. So I kind of like the 80, 96, 128, and then the parentheses indicate instead of 80, it could be 120, 96, and 144, 128, 192. Now, the problem with Krypt King, in terms of documenting the damage, the swarm doesn't register here. I've researched it. You get basically 60, 61, 62. 90% of the time when it attacks enemies. I assume there's critical numbers tied in. Those would obviously be 90-ish, somewhere in there. So what it looks like though, uh, 12 seconds. I know you couldn't see it there at the end. I don't know where that thing's gonna go ever, but it's 12 seconds to
the spirit awakens.
I think you can have 4 running at once. Again, it's one of those things that's just real difficult to document. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all still there. There's number 5. You know what? We did have 5 going. So let's see. You can see 5. I honestly don't know. I mean, it's in. I could do it, but we would be here for an eternity. And the bottom line is, you get the general idea. So they run about 12 seconds, 5-ish at once, and then they do like 60. 61, 62, I don't know why those numbers are all there, but they are in the real game. So critical hit side, you would have 90-ish on the critical. Again, when they're this difficult to document, I've just kind of preferred to stray on the side of show it to you, explain it, and if you want to attempt to count how many numbers of swarms you can have, you go for it. But given the confines we've got, I mean, it's almost impossible for me to spit them all out and then count them all before one may disappear within the 12-second span. or 1 or 2 is totally out of the frame, and then by the time I walk to see they're still there, 1 is despawned naturally, so you get the idea. That said, we're going to come in here to Persephone. Yes, we are. That's why we're here. And I have been very excited. This was shown a little bit before the game came out, and I'm actually the most excited for this, I think, out of any of his attacks. I really would, I think there could be more done with it if he got like a Series 2 ever as, a WoW pal. Granted, since he's a guest star, I doubt that happens, but it's one of those attacks I'd really like to see like evolve more. But it is called the Haunted Sword. Press Y to release the Traptanium Broadsword and steer it towards enemies. Price is going to be 400. Now I'm up to 10 wing sapphires with what I've been playing around with recently, so the prices are skewed significantly. But keep that in mind on all these upgrades. So we're going to pick that up for 400, and yes, we are sure. So let's check this out. We're going to hit Y, and then his Traptanium Broadsword floats around, and apparently we can come in and steer it towards enemies. So let's just check it out. Okay, now this is really neat. We can just kind of run around like so. Let me try to get a time on it first. Uh, 10, 11 seconds. Let's see how far away from us we can take this thing. So we'll stand here, and I'll just try to go over the bridge and see what happens. Okay. Apparently, if you exceed the range, it's going to come back automatically. So we'll do the same thing here. Let me kind of climb up this direction. And I'd say it's about the same distance maybe to Flynn or the Villain Vault. Yeah, so that triggers an automatic release. And to prove that, I'll just kind of keep it about here.
Press the tag button again to return to playing as your Skylander.
And then it comes back after about 12 seconds. And again, if I go all the way, that was about 5 seconds to max out the distance. So Haunted Sword is, let's go ahead and count it again up here. Just because we can. I'll kind of face him so you can kind of get a better look at it. I'll call it 12 seconds actually. So that makes sense. That's what the swarm registers at for. So 12 seconds max. 5. Well, I don't know. Some people might. If you go in close quarters, you wipe out enemies, and then you exceed the distance, it's gonna be longer than 5 seconds. If you just have nothing in front of you, it's roughly 5 seconds to max it out. Give or take a little bit, depending on how you count, of course, but you get the general feel for it. And again, that's the main thing here. So, tertiary attack damage, though. Let's check that out. So 80. So it's gonna be 80 to 120. And again, it's just going to depend how many times you can actually hit. That's pretty beastly. So that works quite well. Now, can we move while that is going on is the question. There's 80 to 120. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to throw that thing out. Okay, so if I press A, we basically get nothing out of it. Let's throw that. If I press B, we can't do the swarm. So when he is doing the tertiary attack, he's basically unable to fire other assaults. So what I would do, if I was going to use the tertiary attack, which I do plan to do, I'd spit out several swarms, just however many you need for the occasion, and then I would send the sword in, let it clean up, while I just kind of stand back here and, be like, yeah, check out my sword. So, you get the general idea there. Alright, up next, we skip that. And we have Spectral Slowdown. Haunted Sword slows down all enemies it touches. Price is 560. We'll go ahead and grab that. Okay. No real change to the appearance just yet, which is good because I like the sword. Obviously, we can't showcase the damage. I think it changed the appearance, of course, but in terms of, me saying, oh wow, look at that, it's one of those things you just have to see. Again, same thing here. When I get the max distance, it comes back. Otherwise, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 seconds. So, spectral slowdown, still the same stuff. 12 secs, 80 to 120, and then let's see, slows enemies down. Alright, so that's probably the best way to phrase that in a spreadsheet, I suppose. Takes up the least space as possible. Nope, gotta go down here. I was tempted to go in and showcase it, but again, we would be here forever if I did that. The Broader the Broadsword is our third base upgrade. Traptanium Broadsword attack. It does extra damage with greater reach. Price is $720 with our now 10 Wing Sapphire discount. We'll go ahead and grab that. And let's get... Wow, that's a huge sword now. So nice little upgrade there. It looks like it's got the Undead Element Skull. Kind of looks like the Punisher logo. The way he's clasping it with his fist. That said, let's go ahead and take a look there. And there's what the combo is going to look like. So we'll go ahead. We were doing 80 to 120. Again, on the combo, essentially 80, 96, 128, plus the criticals on the flip side. We're doing 112 now. And then, let's see. The Broadsword is 112. Half of that would be 56, I believe. So yeah, 112 to 168. I wasn't sure if I fired that off really quick and it was part of the combo. So we'll come in again just to showcase that. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, 112, and again, if you get a critical hit there, you'll have 168. That's just on your slow-mo. If I go 1, 2, 3 combo,
press the tag button to play as your
134 to 170.
Then
112.
press the tag button again to return to playing as your Skylander.
179. And then I'll do the parentheses again just so we can kind of change that. 112, obviously you're going to have 168 as option A's critical. 134, we're looking at what, 67? So that would be 134, 194, 201 on a critical there. And then 179, that's going to be a weird one. 180 would be 90, so you're looking at like 89 and a half. So if they round up, which they should, sometimes they don't, you're looking at 90. So 179 and 90 is going to be 269. Again, it could register 268.5. In Swap Force, they seem to always go up. In Trap Team, there's oftentimes that they just half it off. I mean, it's essentially the way they, I guess, look at it. 179, when you take that and you get the half, instead of coming in and saying, okay, that's going to be, 89. 0.5, they just say, okay, that's 89. And then yet sometimes they say, oh, that's not an even number, let's round up. I have not quite figured out the method to the madness, and so I just run with what I know. Question now, essentially the Haunted Sword and Spectral Slowdown, we're doing 80 to 120, so we've got the question of, do they do increased damage with this upgrade as well? And the answer is no, sadly. Kind of figured they would. Just because it is a different sword, but it's not the worst thing that could happen. Theoretically, it seems like they should, but, it is what it is. So, yes, we are. We're going to get his final base upgrade, which is Super Swarm. Hold B to charge up the Swarm attack to unleash a larger swarm. Cost with our discount, $960. Let's go ahead and grab that. Yes, we're sure. Alright, now, if you know the path you want to take, by all means go ahead and pick it, save yourself a cutscene. If you do not know, research it, watch my videos, check out my attack damage spreadsheets, whatever you need to do, play with the upgrades to make a determination. The path that I would prefer, again, not knowing attack damage, not knowing which one will actually be better in the game or suit me personally better in terms of how I play with the upgraded and maxed Krypt King. The one that appeals to me the most is Lord of the Sword. Since I prefer the aesthetics of standard Krypt King, he is getting Lord of the Sword, and then Swarm Summoner will actually go to Krypt King, in part because I kind of tie like the Locust in and the Swarm more in with the gold, and then this just seems more sinister and chop-chopish to me. So, although I do associate defense with chop-chop, this is the two options here, and I'm going to kill Lord of the Sword. I won't take it here because that would be, you know, like a bum kill for the start of that section of the video. So, let's go ahead. We've got the Standard Swarm right there. And then basically against Super Swarm, we're going to hold B and charge it up to unleash a larger swarm. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so it cuts off on its own. Let me see if we can spawn another one. But, you know, I honestly, I can't tell. They seem to have joined up. Yeah, so you can have at least 2 large swarms going. I don't think there's a small chance you could have 3, but the time it takes them to actually crank that out, it is unlikely. Let's count now. 6 to 7 seconds. So Super Swarm is going to be, we'll just go 6-second charge. And then as far as damage, let's see how much time we've got invested here. 16 minutes. Well, that's a lot of time for base upgrades. Where should I go to just quickly find something? Oh, I don't know. I hope this works. The problem with the early chapters, you have so much to do before you get like action, and the Chaos Doom challenge, it just takes a while to get going. So skip, and let's see. I thought we had some little Smurf Sly collapses pretty early here. Not concerned about anything else. We're just wanting to see what the swarm does. So. Alright, and again, I really do like the aesthetics of this level. Okay, so we're just going to hold this down. Whoa, that was efficient. I didn't anticipate that. Now let's find another round of them. I thought I saw 180s and I saw like 123s and 112s. Wasn't sure he was going to get there in time to make that jump, but he did. Yeah, Luminous, we know. There we go. Alright, let's, ooh, we nearly tripled that. Alright. Again, I really wish there was like a button where I could just spawn enemies. You know, that'd be great. Alright, so let's just tap B and see what we're getting with that. So, 60, 61, 62, 63, don't kill all of them. So there are critical numbers. Interestingly enough, you saw the 94 there. Alright, I've got to let him spin. Krypt King is so slow. Okay. I don't care if we get hit 120. And sadly, we've killed him. What was the next round? It's our little quest over there that we're gonna mess with. Okay. Okay, this is good, this is good.
Strength and honor.
183. I didn't see a critical number. I don't want to hit the enemies. Don't care about hitting the enemies. You know what? Oh, geez, we're about to die. I guess I should care. Okay, you were a good candidate, my friend. 121, 180, 181, but I didn't see a critical there. That's what kills me. I did not see a critical hit there.
My power grows.
Huh.
Rising up.
Okay, well, let's try to get over here and see it. Jeez. Okay, well, it's a bad strategy. I don't, you know, I hate these attacks that I can't document easily, that I basically require enemies for. So he's about to let, there we go. Okay, we've got a second lease on life. Alright.
I know. Who builds a room with a bunch
Let's
of
get us out of
pads
here.
instead of a bridge?
This stuff should not take this long,
But it's fun,
you know? It's just you can't document it. I'm trying to think what's up ahead. Well, we could go
Skylanders of the tech element.
Alright, this is good.
Stronger in this zone.
I just want some good numbers here. 120, 122, 180, 122. Okay, let's see what 184 was critical. Tons of 120. So I'm thinking 120 to 180, and then 1s through 4s for some reason. So something I want to see now is if I get hit while we're charging it, will we lose the ability? So I'm going to face away. Please hit me. No. As long as you hold down, you can still release it. That's a ton of XP. So we'll eradicate this guy just because he's annoying. Oh, we can hit him from there. Alright, so we are done here. Back to the academy. And yes, we are, sure. Alright, 6-second charge time. Getting hit by an enemy won't stop. Obviously, you take damage, but it doesn't make you reset the timer, essentially, for the charge. And then I'm just going to call it 120 to 180. Be forewarned, though, you saw the 121, 122, 124. It's just like, instead of being box stock, like 60 to 90, you would see 61, 62, 63. Very strange stuff. You know, I don't know why it's like that. I guess it's kind of indicative of the nature of the attack, but nonetheless, that's about as good as it gets for me attempting to document that stuff for you. Documenting Swarm Summoner will be interesting. We'll see what we can do. Anyway, that doesn't matter right now. This was just his base upgrades. Again, I'm going to come in. We're going to take this guy right here down, Lord of the Sword. It's going to be awesome. And then I'll come in. I'll upgrade Nitro Krypt King, get him the base attacks. Then we will take him down Swarm Summoner. So, as always, thanks for watching. Again, take that link at the top of the video description box. It will take you to a post dedicated exclusively to Krypt King. You will see his base upgrades that you're watching. You will see Lord of the Sword for standard Krypt King. You will see Swarm Summoner for Nitro. You will see his attack damage spreadsheet. Again, if you looked only at the spreadsheet and you think, wait, what he put doesn't make sense, watch the video. It should walk you through it to the point that you have no questions and you know exactly what I'm talking about, regardless of however odd I may have worded it in terms of your interpretation. But bottom line, it's supposed to help you out, help you pick the best path for your play style, for the character, get a feel for them ahead of time, that sort of a thing. So again, check that out. My site, oneofwisdom.com, the Skylander Club, skylanderclub.com. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you back here as we take Krypt King down his Lord of the Sword upgrade path.